For instance, when you're towing a boat, you want to make sure that, especially if you're out there in waters that have any type of sea to it, or waving, or rocking, or anything like that, um, you don't want to have the boat that you're towing, if you're towing them from behind, you don't want to have them up close and personal for two reasons. One is security, on the other side, because you don't know who, unless you know who you're towing, but if you don't know who you're towing, you don't want them to get close to your boat. And if you notice them starting to get closer, or them pulling up, well then just cut the line, let it go. It's not even worth keeping the line if it's your line. You know, if they're trying to get to you or get closer to you, it's not worth it. Just drop the line. And shame on you guys. You want to try it again? We will. You move that line, you're done. You're done. And meanwhile, you should have been calling the Coast Guard anyway. Because in the seas, you need as much help as you can. So you do what you got to do, you know, to help. But anyway, with that being said, you want to keep them back. I like, depending on the seas, but at least two waves. In other words, when the waves are coming, if you're both going to be going up, we want him back, you know, 100 feet, 200 feet, whatever the case may be. And it's nice, if you're going to do it, to have a float line of sort. Again, you don't need a lot to tow somebody as far as heavy line. As long as you start off slow and you gradually get them up there, you'll be okay. But a float line won't sink. So if you have to stop and hit reverse or back up or whatever you got to do, you're not going to have to worry about your line too much, because, you know, getting caught in the props, because it floats most of the time. Now, if you have time to do something, you know, and it's not an emergency tow where you got to get them up the shore real quick, because in that case, just throw a heavy line on them and go. I mean, start off slow, but go. And then when it's time to let loose of the line, he should be able to, the inertia should take him up onto the shore, you know, as you scoot out of the way. But for most part, if you have the time, I have those noodles, those swimming pool noodle things that the kids put under their arms. They're about, I don't know what, 4.5, 5 feet long, and they usually have a little hole in the middle. Well, even if they don't, I cut a slice in it so that if I do have to throw a line and I'm concerned, you know, I can put a couple of those on the line to help keep the line out of the water. If I haven't got a float rope that I feel I can trust. And if you've got a life ring that you got to throw overboard, if it's going to have a line on it, you probably want to have a float rope on it, because when you throw it, you know, and the person that's grabbing it, you don't want them to get tangled up in the lines that are all under the water. So the line is above the water, so it gives you an indication of where it is as well. If you're going to throw something in with, you know, with a regular line, you're better off just throwing it in without a line. But you be aware of your throw, because you don't want to throw it away from somebody that can't swim to get to it. There's a lot to think about. I always say, if you're going to be doing anything in the water, you can't get enough training. And think. Float plan. Nobody thinks of a float plan. You mention a float plan to people, they don't even know what you're talking about half the time. All right, now, what do I want to do? Well, I want to take this apart, so I guess I'm going to have to take the lines off some of this. All right. Well, we know what we have to do anyway. I'm doing this just to get it started because I've been neglecting this. I still have stuff to do in the radio room. I have stuff I want to do on the truck. I have 2 radios in the truck that are amateur radios that I put in the first van when I had them, the first Astro van. And then I hardly ever used them. And then I put them in the Ford, and again, I think I used it once in the Ford. When I was on a call, I was out there on one of these roads that nobody was coming on. It was, I don't know, 2 o'clock in the morning. Oh, actually, it was twice I used it. It was like, I don't remember the time, but it was like nobody's around, everybody's sleeping. But because it was one of those wires that were a danger. Hey, baby.
Look at the size of this mushroom.
A mushroom?
Yeah.
Well, if you pick it up, wash your hands.
Yeah. Keeps falling apart, but look at the size of it. Oh, Tucker!
Oh, that's a biggie. It's actually a nice, let me see it. Oh, that's a nice mushroom right from the bottom up. It's too bad it fell apart.
It's all under. They're all underneath the mulch in the corner there.
Oh. So see if I can salvage one, try to dry it out, and then I can polyurethane it.
Well, you don't see them until you go over them with the rake.
Yeah. I thought I was going to have to turn the water on for a minute.
Why?
Well, I didn't remember if I had the 30-gallon tank filled or not underneath.
Yeah, well, it's not filled, but it's almost filled.
Yeah, it's like an inch or so from the
Yeah.
top. Yeah, so I said that's fine. You know, but at first when I was looking at it, I thought it was empty because I couldn't see the space on the
Well,
top.
you can always get the expandable hose. That's a 100-footer, so that'll reach here.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, it would have been easier than turning the water on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gee, you do think every now and then. It's good to have you around. So anyway, where the hell was I? I forgot what I was talking about. I forgot. Oh, so I have these radios in the van. And I'm thinking, you know what? These are expensive radios. If I was using them, and I was in the van more than an hour a week, if that, I just filled up my tank the other day. I had a half a tank, and when I checked the receipts, it's been 4 weeks. So it tells you just how much I use the van. Lately, all I've been doing is like going to meetings, you know, and a couple of calls. But for the most part, that's it. Put those there. Now I gotta blow this off because I don't want to even go near the gas when I have sawdust all over the thing. So I want to get all the sawdust off it. So I got these 2 radios in the truck. I got a Yaesu 891 with the FC50 tuner. And the Moto antenna. The antenna alone was like $200 or $300. I don't remember. I think it was 300. And then I have the Yaesu 400 UHF VHF dual bander. That antenna was like $40. That's a common antenna. It's common bands, common frequencies. The other one is too. However, because it has to be so broadbanded that the antennas take a little bit more to make, so they charge for them, justifiably so. So I have those. I have an ICOM, or an ICON. Yeah, an ICOM. Why am I saying ICON? ICOM 2300 in the truck, and one in here. So that's a 2 meter. Now 2 meter seems to be the most popular frequency around. You see a lot of 2-meter repeaters. There's a lot of people on 2-meter. If you had to pick one radio, you know, within that area, if you were a tech, for instance, you know, or even if you're anything, and you just wanted to buy a radio, inexpensive, and you didn't have a whole lot of room to do anything with antennas and all that kind of crap, the 2-meter would probably be the most enjoyable one, because there's always somebody around on there. They're on repeaters. You can drive up and down the coast, and you're always going to find somebody. You know, that's the most like popular, you know, on your UHF, VHF stuff. VHF, very high frequencies. UHF, ultra high frequency. So let me blow this off. I'm standing on the air hose, so that's not a problem. I believe I'm looking at the blowgun. I do. I have it in my hand. Where's the camera? Over there. Again, I'm talking to you guys, and you're not even knowing that I'm talking. There. Oh, whoa, now you're way up there. Holy mackerel, Amy. Holy mackerel, Amos. Mama got me up there. Right. Whoa! How you like that ride? There you go. That was a merry-go-round ride that you wouldn't expect to be getting. So what I'm going to do here is, well, I'll tell you while I'm here what I did. The first year I bought this thing, brand new, delivered, started up, not a problem. You know, it took a few pulls, or actually it came with the battery, so it just took a gas and a few pushes of a button to get it started. And everything was fine. And that came in, if I remember right, it was like May. Now we've had this a long time, so don't ask me what year, because I'm probably thinking 2006, 2007. Anyhow, that summer, you know, around hurricane season, we lost power, and I went to start this thing, and it was dead. So luckily, I had the little generator out in the shed, which is older yet. I bought that one back in '99 or so. It's only a 2300. I think it's 2300. But this one here, it comes with a charger. A little transformer charger, just like your cell phone charger, but a little bit bigger. And you would plug it into this plug right here. It's just like a little plug, like in the back of a stereo or whatever. You know, it's just a little power plug. So you'd plug it in there, and it would trickle, slowly charge the battery that used to be in here on the other side. I don't think this will reach over there. Let me unplug you for a minute.